90% of new businesses fail within the first 5 years. Not because the founders weren't smart, not because the idea was bad. Most of them fail because they skipped steps. They jumped straight from, I have an idea, to, let me spend my savings, and skipped everything in between. No validation, no plan, no system for tracking money, just excitement, followed by a slow, expensive lesson. Here's the truth nobody tells beginners. Starting a business isn't complicated. It's just sequential. There's an order that works, and when you follow it, you dramatically increase your odds of still being in business a year from now. Today, I'm going to walk you through the entire roadmap, every step, in the order it actually needs to happen, to go from just an idea to a real, running business with paying customers. This is the complete overview of everything covered across this series, so if any single step grabs your attention, there's a full episode waiting for you with the deep dive, the examples, and the exact tools to use. Grab a notebook. Let's build this properly. Step 1. Validate the idea before you build anything. This is the step almost every beginner skips, and it's the one that saves you the most money. Validation means testing your idea against real people, with real money on the line, before you build anything. Not asking, do you like my idea? That question is useless, because people are polite. The real question is, would you pay for this right now? Here's how to actually validate. Talk to 15 to 20 strangers in your target market, not friends or family. Ask about their current problem, not your solution. Let them describe the pain in their own words. Look for evidence people already spend money solving this problem in some clumsy way. A manual process, a competitor's inferior product, a Facebook group charging for advice. Existing spending is the strongest signal you can get. Pre-sell before you build. Take deposits, collect a waitlist with a small commitment fee, or run a simple landing page with a join the waitlist button and see who actually signs up. Watch behavior, not opinions. Someone saying, that's a great idea, means nothing. Someone handing you money or their contact details means everything. A quick example, imagine you want to start a meal prep delivery service. Instead of cooking 50 meals and hoping people buy them, you post in your neighborhood Facebook group or on Nextdoor, taking 10 orders this Friday for meal prep bowls. $12 each, first come, first served. If those 10 slots fill in a day, you have validation. If they don't fill in a week, you've just saved yourself from buying groceries for a product nobody wanted. If nobody's interested at the idea stage, that's not failure, that's data. Better to find out with a Facebook post than after you've spent your capital on equipment and inventory. Step 2. Write a lean business plan. Forget the 40-page business plan template that nobody, including you, will ever read again after week 1. What you need is a lean, living plan that fits on 1 or 2 pages and answers 5 core questions. What problem are you solving? Be specific. Not people need food. Busy professionals in downtown Chicago who don't have time to cook lunch. Who exactly is your customer? Age range, income level, location, habits. The more specific, the easier your marketing becomes later. How will you make money? One-time sales, subscriptions, commissions, a service fee? Pick your revenue model clearly. What will it cost to run this? Both the one-time startup costs and the ongoing monthly costs. How will people find out you exist? Your rough plan for getting your first 50 customers. This plan is a working tool, not a museum piece. You should be editing it every few weeks as you learn more about your market. Founders who treat their plan as fixed often keep pushing a strategy that isn't working simply because that's what the plan said. Step 3. Choose your business structure and register. This step feels boring, which is exactly why beginners avoid it, and exactly why skipping it becomes expensive later. Decide your structure: sole proprietorship, partnership, or limited liability company. A sole proprietorship is simpler and faster, but your personal assets are less protected. An LLC-type structure separates your personal finances from business risk, which matters more as revenue grows. Register your business name with the relevant government registry in your country. This isn't just paperwork. It protects your brand name from being taken by someone else, and it's often required before you can open a business bank account or sign contracts. Separate your money immediately. Open a dedicated business account, even a basic one, from day one. Mixing personal and business money is one of the most common reasons founders lose track of whether they're actually profitable. Understand your basic tax obligations early, even if they're minimal at your current size. It's far easier to build good habits now than to untangle 2 years of mixed records later. Registering early also gives you legitimacy. Customers, suppliers, and potential partners take a registered business more seriously than an informal side hustle, and it opens doors to things like business loans and formal contracts down the line. Step 4. Figure out your money, startup costs, and funding. Every business needs one honest number. How much will it actually cost to get to your first sale, and to survive the months after that before revenue is steady? Break this into two lists. Startup costs, the one-time expenses to get running, registration fees, equipment, initial inventory, a website or social media setup, initial marketing spend. Running costs, what it costs every month to keep the lights on, rent if you have a physical space, subscriptions, transport, packaging, staff wages if any. Once you have real numbers, decide how you'll fund the gap. Bootstrapping, funding growth from your own savings and early revenue. Slower, but you keep full control and build discipline early. Friends and family, often the fastest source of early capital, but put agreements in writing to protect the relationship. Small loans or microfinance, useful once you have some track record, but be realistic about repayment before revenue is proven. A co-founder who brings capital, this can accelerate you, but it also means sharing ownership and decision-making, so choose carefully. The businesses that survive their first year are almost always the lean ones, the ones that spent only on what was essential to get the first paying customer, rather than trying to look impressive before they'd proven anything. Step 5. Build your minimum viable product or service. You don't need the polished final version. You need the smallest version that actually solves the customer's problem, and that you can put in front of a paying customer this week, not this year. If it's a physical product, build or source the simplest version that functions. Skip the extra features and premium packaging for now. If it's a service, take on a handful of real paying clients manually before you build fancy booking systems or automation. If it's digital, launch with core functionality only. A messy version that works beats a beautiful version that's still almost ready 6 months from now. Use these first real customers as your research lab. Their feedback, what they loved, what confused them, what they wish was different, will teach you more in 2 weeks of real usage than 2 months of planning in isolation. Many founders fall into the trap of endlessly refining a product nobody has touched yet. Get it into real hands early, even if it's imperfect. Step 6. Build your brand identity. Your brand is not your logo. Your brand is the feeling and the trust someone has when they think about your business, and that feeling is built through every single interaction, not just your visuals. Choose a name and visual identity that's simple to say, easy to remember, and fits the customer you defined back in Step 2. Define your brand voice. Are you playful and casual, or serious and premium? A skincare brand for young professionals sounds different from a logistics company serving corporate clients, and that difference should show up in every caption, every reply, every piece of packaging. Be consistent everywhere. Your Instagram bio, your WhatsApp status, your invoice, your customer service tone, they should all feel like the same business, not 5 different ones. Let your brand reflect your actual values, not a copied aesthetic. Customers can tell when a brand identity is borrowed versus built around something real. A strong, consistent brand does 2 things for you. It lets you charge more than an unbranded competitor selling the same product, and it builds the kind of trust that turns first-time buyers into repeat customers. Step 7. Set up your sales and marketing engine. No business survives on a great product alone. Customers need to actually find out you exist, and then need a clear path to paying you. Pick 1 or 2 channels to start, not 5. Social media, referrals, local advertising, direct outreach, or partnerships. Master one before spreading thin across all of them. Map your sales process. How exactly does someone go from seeing your post, to messaging you, to paying? If that path has too many confusing steps, you'll lose people along the way. Start collecting contacts from day 1, an email list, a WhatsApp broadcast list, or engaged social followers. This is arguably your most valuable long-term business asset because it's the audience you can market to repeatedly without paying for ads every single time. Use social proof early. Even 3 genuine testimonials from your first customers can dramatically increase trust for the 4th, 5th, and 10th customer. Marketing isn't about being everywhere. It's about being consistently visible to the specific group of people who are most likely to buy from you. Step 8. Put basic systems and operations in place. The moment you get your first few paying customers, you need enough structure that the business doesn't collapse the moment you're unavailable for a day. Track your money properly. Even a simple spreadsheet tracking income against expenses is far better than keeping it in your head. Write down your repeat processes, how you take an order, how you deliver it, how you follow up afterward. Once it's written down, It's teachable, which means eventually it doesn't all have to run through you. Decide what to keep and what to delegate. In the early days, you'll do almost everything yourself, but start noting which tasks you'll hand off first once you can afford help. Usually the repetitive, low-skill tasks that eat your time without needing your judgment. Set simple customer service standards. How quickly you respond, how you handle complaints. Consistency here builds a reputation faster than almost anything else. Systems don't need to be sophisticated at this stage. They need to exist at all. Step 9. Launch. Launching isn't one perfect dramatic moment. It's simply your first real sale to a real stranger who has no reason to be nice to you. Set a public launch date. Announcing it publicly creates accountability that a private, whenever it's ready mindset never will. Consider a soft launch first, a small, limited release to a smaller audience so you can catch problems in delivery, communication, or product quality before scaling up your exposure. Expect friction. Something will go wrong. A delayed delivery, a confusing checkout step, a customer question you hadn't anticipated. The goal of a launch is not perfection. It's real-world learning. Fast. Document everything that goes wrong, because those first hiccups become your operations manual for every launch after this one. Step 10. Track, learn, and scale. Once you're running and making sales, your role shifts. You go from build the thing to improve the thing, and that shift is where sustainable growth actually comes from. Review your numbers weekly, not just at year-end. Total sales, total costs, and what's actually left as profit. Businesses don't fail from lack of sales nearly as often as they fail from not knowing their real numbers. Ask your customers directly what's working and what isn't. A short message asking, "What almost stopped you from buying?" often reveals more than any survey. Reinvest profit into what's already proven to work, rather than spreading resources thin, chasing new, unproven ideas. If one marketing channel is clearly bringing customers, double down there before experimenting elsewhere. Resist the urge to add too much too soon. Many beginners try to add 5 new products or services before the first one is even running smoothly. Depth before breadth. Growth, almost always, comes from doing more of what's already working, not from constantly chasing the next shiny idea. Common mistakes that derail beginners. Before we close out, a quick reality check. These are the patterns that quietly kill new businesses even when every step above was technically followed. Building in isolation for months without a single real customer touching the product. Mixing personal and business money, which makes it impossible to know if you're actually profitable. Trying to serve everyone instead of a clearly defined customer, which weakens your marketing and your product decisions. Copying a competitor's brand identity instead of building one that reflects your actual customer and values. Scaling marketing spend before the sales process even converts well, which just means paying more to lose more. Avoiding these 5 mistakes alone puts you ahead of a large share of businesses that quietly fail in year 1. That's the complete roadmap, from a raw idea to a business that's actually running, selling, and improving. 10 steps, in the order that actually works. No shortcuts, no secret formula, just sequence and consistency. If any single step here felt like it needs more depth, validation, funding, branding, or setting up your systems, that's exactly what the rest of this series covers, episode by episode, with real examples and exact tools you can use. Subscribe if you want to build this properly, one step at a time, and drop a comment telling me which step you're on right now. I read every one. See you in the next episode.